So to wrap this up, Old Town Road, not a hip hop banger. A pop record, a decent one, not a hip hop banger. You know it, I know it. Lil Nas X knows it, his people know it. Nobody in hip hop is listening to it. When people say, "Oh, Lil Nas X, the hip hop artist," it's laughable because it's pop music. It's clearly pop music. I mean, it is kind of interesting how he used hip hop in a way, or elements of hip hop, and mixed it with country. But really, it's actually much more of a country record than it is a hip hop record, and especially at this stage. Country music is pop music also to a certain degree. But anyway, another conversation. Um, but I do think it's interesting how that gets put in the hip hop category. And come on, man, we know better. Young Thug, Hot, is that a hip hop record or a pop record? Well, I would say it's more of a hip hop record. I mean, it is poppy. It's kind of, you know, Young Thug is kind of a pop artist. He kind of always has been, but it's not like that's actually one of his better songs. And I look at it and I'm like, okay, peaked at number 11 on Billboard, which is pretty high up there. That's like when you start to get into pop space, but it's not number one. It's not number five. It's still a little bit hip hop. It's got that heavy sort of like, whatever thing going on. So, yeah, it's a hip hop song. I'll give it that. Look Alive with Drake and Block Boy JB, hip hop banger, 100%. It ended up doing pretty well on Billboard, I think. But again, we don't really care about Billboard because the hottest records in hip hop are never on Billboard, or they're very low on Billboard. Let's the truth. You can look at 95% of the greatest hip hop songs, like the greatest standout, hardest, smartest, rawest, all that stuff. They almost barely didn't hit like Billboard, like at least not at like number one or even number 30 sometimes. A lot of times, if they did hit Billboard, they'd be at like 40, 60, 70. Like, nah, man. It's just not like your average person doesn't understand hip hop. Keep this in mind. Like, when you really sit and think about it, most hip hop casuals don't even understand hip hop. So, how the fuck do you expect the average person to understand this shit? Really? And the average stuff that like people get into is they get into it because it's closer to what they're experiencing and what they're used to, which is pop music, right? There's records that I heard back in the day that I was like, ah, this sucks. And then now, as an older, like really big hip hop fan, I'm like, oh, that shit was brilliant. But there's a lot I didn't know. Like I didn't appreciate certain things. So of course, how you gonna like it? That's the difference, my dude. You look at Pop Smoke, right? Pop Smoke, Dior, or Welcome to the Party. These shits were not even on Billboard. I mean, Dior, I think after he died, is like kind of bubbling a little bit on Billboard now. But Welcome to the Party was like the hottest street record in New York, right? Like, if you were in New York and you were a hip hop fan, you heard that record everywhere after a certain point. And it wasn't immediate, it built, right? Dior, same thing. Whereas I think it's interesting because of marketing and just how these things work. When I was in B More and they played Pop Smoke, and even after he had died, they played Pop Smoke, and the young kids was just kind of like, "Who is this?" Almost, and it blew my mind. There was a couple of people that got it, but a lot of people I was just like, "Oh my god, they've never heard Dior? What the fuck?" You know what I mean? And that's how it goes, man. You know what I'm saying? Like pure hip hop records, and Dior is a hip hop record. Okay, like they're not out here like marketing them on some like, and then everyone in the world is listening to it. It's not like that. It's hip hop audiences that fuck with hip hop and are up on shit. They love Dior. Dior is a banger. Okay, now Dior is also made for clubs and stuff like that. So as I said, it's about feeling. These songs that are bangers are songs with feeling. Ghostface's Stay True is a banger. It's not a club record, it's just a banger. It's a great song. You could play it out somewhere, and hip hop fan, anybody that's into this hip hop shit would be like, oh, that's a dope song, right? They would feel the energy because the energy comes off it. It makes it lifts the spirit. You can rock to it. If I can't rock to your record on any level, and I don't care what kind of lyricist you are, if I cannot do this, I can't do the wop, you know, I can't do the wop or whatever. I can't twist my shoulders. I can't do nothing to your record. Your record is trash. Okay, that's a surefire, sign of it being whatever. Okay, all the greatest rap records, I don't care how lyrical they are, if they don't lift the spirit, they don't make you do something, they don't make you feel like, ugh, like just that rock or whatever. If they don't make you move, they are not bangers and they're trash. It never ends. Ask yourself, how are you supposed to move to that beat? You're just supposed to be like this? That's that low energy bullshit. That's what I'm telling you about Alchemist. Primo. Primo shit comes on against the grain, Sauce Money. You know what I'm saying? You be rocking. Come on, man. This hip hop shit is a feeling. It's not for the rhythmless. So, to end it off, know the difference. There is a difference between pop and there's a difference between hip hop. Okay? Pop, hip hop is not pop. Or so what's that Q-tip line that always come up my head, right? You know, if you call it pop, then stop. Like it's not. They are different things, and it's about time that people started waking up. Now, of course, hip hop has been marketing itself to pop audiences for a long time, and especially very aggressively in the 2000s. I mean, they were doing it in the 90s aggressively too, but it went to another level in the 2000s, and it's obviously now flat out pop. So when I say these things, y'all gonna get mad because you're pop listeners. Like, you care about Metacritic and Grammys and Pulitzers, stuff that like no hip hop head ever gives a fuck about, and never will give a fuck about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's pop stuff, right? And so because hip hop has been marketing itself towards y'all, when some random guy on YouTube like myself, some random black person is like, "That's not hip hop," you go, "How dare you?" But I got a point. Anyway, y'all take it easy.